patriotism and all that type of stuff, it's like, everybody has their own ideas about what that word means. But I'm from the South, and down here, that kind of means like if there's a war, you go fight it.
Yeah.
It's
the one thing I found living down here is the Southern people. Boy, are they patriotic.
I mean,
they will fight for this country.
Absolutely, Florida's a big place for that. There's a lot of people from Florida join the military. Florida, Texas, the Carolinas.
We're Floridians, but as they say in Florida, the farther north you are in Florida, the farther south you get.
Yeah. It's not something I regret at all. It got me where I am today, and I think it's a good baseline for anybody to have, I mean, you get good benefits, they pay for your college, the VA is the VA, but the biggest thing that I always thought was interesting was, people talk about this all the time, is the veteran suicide rate. And, I don't understand what it is. We lost more guys coming back that killed themselves than we lost in combat. And that was always weird to me. Like, I could never understand, it's like you survive all of this and they can't get you, but you're going to shoot yourself.
But is that the psychology of the PTSD?
I don't, till now, I've had a great number of people that, we're not necessarily like best friends of mine or something like that. People I knew from work, when I was in the Marines and stuff, that they killed themselves. And I don't know if it's like, they say survivor's guilt and stuff like that, but,
Do you have any, do you feel that?
No.
You look at it like it was business. You went over, you did a job you were trained for.
You know what you're signing up for. It's not a mystery.
But to most, it still is disturbing to hear, you took someone's life, but not just someone's life. It sounds so personal when I say someone's life. But when you're shooting lots and lots of people and killing a lot of people, you don't have a number, but I'm sure
there's a great many. Like when you're in major combat operations and you're operating a crew served weapon, you're not thinking it's not one person at a time. It's you're hitting a building and it's however many people are in that building. Or if you throw a satchel of C4 or something like that in a building, it's going to be, not oh so poetic for whoever's inside that building. And so, but don't be a terrorist and you won't have these problems. The Marine Corps is not coming for you if you don't do bad terrorist things, So, like I said, none of these people are Mother Teresa and, all that, but yeah, I want to say it's like 22 veterans a day commit suicide. It's pretty high.
Wow.
So there's other projects and stuff that have tried to raise awareness on this, and stuff like that. But
I see those, and I don't know the numbers, I don't know the statistics, but I do know that PTSD is real, and there are people that are taking their life.
It affects everybody differently. I think that it's really, to me, like when it's real quiet and there's nothing going on, you start to think about it more and more, not less and less. And so I guess I try and keep myself busy, and I'm usually busy with something all the time, but, a lot of people, they build it up into the biggest and best thing in their life, and they say, oh, the Marine Corps is the coolest thing I ever did, and oh, I wish I could go back to that and all this. And it's like, I think they have internally limiting beliefs. They don't take essentially what the military trained them to do and apply it to the rest of their life. And it's like, because the Marine Corps as a whole, they're very good at training you to do the things that they want you to do. Being successful outside of that, that system that they've created and everything like that, it's a personal decision.
It's up to you.
And it's up to you. And they're not always, so good at, training you to be an independent operator, have critical thinking skills, be asking the right questions at the right time. It's very go with the flow, where you're going to be, a really good employee for somebody, but not necessarily, take the next step to do whatever it takes, because, and that's the thing too, is like, everybody's like, oh yeah, I do whatever it takes. And it's like, you sit there and ask someone that question, like, what are you prepared to do to be successful? How far would you go? Well, I'll go 7,000 miles to a war zone to be successful, and I'll spend years out there so that I can, and it's like, most people are not gonna do that, their idea of success is, 9 to 5, watching the big game on a Friday night, fat wife, 2 kids, and a shitty house, like the American dream. So they don't constantly push the envelope.
Okay. So the viewers can know, I have a couple of questions just about combat. Are most of your missions from a distance? In other words, strategic. You're shooting from a distance. Or are you face-to-face combat with knives and everything else? Or for the most part, is it from the distance?
I never stabbed anybody to death.
Okay, that was my question. Are people?
No, like
you think of fighting as if are you grappling with people? No.
I mean, we would subdue them and detain them and stuff like that. But as far as like, this ain't no ninja sword fight. Like, we got guns and stuff, and plenty of them.
Okay, so they're gun fights. They're not.
Yeah, like. I mean, I can't say that nobody got stabbed or nobody's ever, beaten anyone to death and all that type of stuff. There's, times innumerable. Marine Corps especially, there's plenty of stories of that. But me specifically, like, we were engaged in, CQB, close quarters combat, street to street, house to house. It wasn't the guy's a mile down there. It's like, no, he's right there or whatever, a couple, like 100 yards away or less. If you're inside a building, they're in the building with you, so, but I'm not like, the same, what do you call it, Last of the Mohicans. I ain't got no tomahawk,
right.
It's like, I got a rocket launcher and an assault rifle, like, and you're gonna eat all the bullets, and I'm not there by myself. All my friends are there with me, like.
Friends being the other.
The other Marines will definitely, they're not gonna let somebody else, like, hurt you. You can't just go up to somebody and be like, oh, you're a terrorist, and we're gonna shoot you, and the guy's just standing there, he's doing nothing wrong, it's like, you can know he's the terrorist baddie all day, and you might be able to detain him for a short while or whatever, but we have rules of engagement that dictate exactly what goes on, and by and large, those were followed to the T. We didn't really have any, I don't recall any issues where we had civilians getting, murdered in mass or anything like that. I mean, this isn't on, like Vietnam or something.